In this episode, I'm going to be watching and reviewing House of the Dragon, Episode 4. Of course, before we get into that, if you're a fan of my channel and would like to help support it, then please hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified whenever my new videos drop. I talk about movies, TV shows, gaming, anime, and all kinds of pop culture stuff, and I try to upload 3, 4, or even 5 times a week. So, making a YouTube subscription is free, and then subscribing is also free, and it goes a long way in helping out the channel. So with all of that being said, let's get into the episode. Alright guys, let's do it. So far, the first 3 episodes of House of the Dragon have been pretty good. A lot of setting up and dialogue and good stuff, which I enjoy. So I'm excited about episode 4. Ugh. This part of the intro right here. You know, now that I know what it means and what happens and the way that it goes across his head like that, it was like, that was a brutal moment, man. Brutal. So Daemon is still at this castle. This looks like King's Landing in the throne room of the Iron Throne. But Daemon is still at this other castle. What is it called? I want to say, it sounds like something like High Home or Honor Hall or High Hall, or it sounds like something like that. I forget the actual name, but he's there and it's a dump, but he's, you know, has taken over it and he's become entitled to it, I guess. And it's a huge castle. And in the last episode, he was having these weird visions and stuff, and you could see regret in the vision of even having the young, the boy ended up getting beheaded, how he kind of regretted that. And the girl, the woman said that, I don't know who she was, but she said that he was going to die in that castle. Well, that was an interesting visual. Now, this is all a dream. All because your brother loved me more than he did you, I think is what she said. Which is, her father. Ooh, man, that was an interesting little visual there. I'm glad they brought this actress back. I actually think this younger actress makes a better Rhaenyra than the older one. She just has a little bit more spunk and spice to her, I guess you could say. Like she's sassy, you know, she strikes me more as the type, whereas this older Rhaenyra, she's a little bit more in the kind of the mom phase, you know? That's a cool little visual. There's blood on his hand and then there's not. He's going through something weird, man.
Mario Great, Sir Kristen's army, now tripled in strength, might have Harrenhal as its destination.
Hold on, I need to make sure I pay attention or I'm going to miss something. Let me go back for a second and listen and pay very close attention to everything this guy's saying. Because, you know, with shows like this that actually care about the plot, it's very important. So, forgive me. Let's listen again to all the things this guy's laying out.
Aegon's army departed King's Landing a fortnight ago.
That would be with Kristen Cole.
The castles of Rosby and Stokeworth have both fallen without siege.
Rosby and Stokeworth. So Kristen Cole, after that incident with the dragon in the last episode, Kristen Cole has taken these castles, Rosby and Stokeworth, and they've fallen without a siege. So that's pretty quickly.
They have raised Aegon's banner.
And they've raised Aegon's banner. So maybe they just, when he says they've fallen, maybe they just like submitted and you know, to Kristen Cole's force.
And added their levies to Sir Kristen Cole's host.
Yeah. So they surrendered. Maybe there was a fight, but in any case, they ended up surrendering, and they took their men and added them to Kristen Cole's army, which is now 3 times the size, I think he said.
Both houses cited that sad business with the usurper's son in their declaration.
They sided with the usurper son. Right, the boy who was beheaded. So these two castles, that maybe there wasn't a fight. When Kristen Cole's army approached these two castles, these two houses, they surrendered because they saw what they think Rhaenyra did by beheading the boy, and now they've added their ranks to Kristen Cole's army.
Sir Kristen's army, now tripled in strength.
Tripled in strength. You see all the information he just gave there in like 30 seconds? That's a lot.
Might have Harrenhal as its destination.
Harrenhal is where they're at. I knew it sounded something like that.
Heir to Riverrun and the future Lord Paramount of the Riverlands.
How fares your grandsire? Well, my time is short and I have need of an army. Perhaps you might place a feather pillow over his head and speed along your inheritance.
You see, this is why we love Daemon. This is why we love Daemon. I hope he doesn't die. Perhaps you could place a feathered pillow over his head and speed on your inheritance. Oh my gosh, I gotta hear this guy's response to that.
I love my grandsire. Like a father. My...
Look at this guy. He's like, oh God. I can't believe he just said that. Oh, that was a good scene.
That is not our way.
Then you're of no use to me. Summon the Blackwoods here. I require men of action to lead my host of rivermen.
They don't want to do anything because whoever's in charge of Harrenhal is just basically an inch from death. And Daemon's just like, can't you just kill him? Because you, little boy, are next in line and he requires an army and men. But the young boy is just like, well, I'm not going to kill him and I'm not going to give any orders while he's still alive either. So it's like, they're useless, you know? And so Daemon's like, well, summon the Blackwoods, you know?
Milady.
But I was not told his savior was so comely.
Man, this Rhaenys, she's into black dudes, isn't she? She's all into them. Who is this guy, Alan? We know he saved the king, but who is he? He's got to be someone important because every time someone talks to him, it's like they pause for a minute. He's like, what the hell? You cheating on me, woman?
Is your work finished? No, my lord.
I know who he is, Corlys.
Who is he? I'd like to know that myself.
Where has that woman gone?
I suspect to try and draw us all back from the abyss.
So in the last episode, Rhaenyra left Dragonstone and went to King's Landing to speak with Alicent. And so there has been the time to where they're like, where has she gone? Because, you know, it was like, well, isn't someone going to notice that she left? Looks like they did. And so they're bringing it up in this episode. Very good. And we still don't know who Alan is. And they're calling Rhaenys back to Dragonstone. There's the statue. Oh, interesting. Now that's the statue that Alicent mended for Viserys whenever he was going through mourning after his wife's death, and she was still young. And it's really what solidified her in the eyes of Viserys. And it's probably poetic now that that thing that she mended this wing for him, this little figure, and she's holding it and looking at it and probably remembering him. And now she just dropped it and broke it again. Like, you know, like that connection that they once held is completely gone. I mean, he's dead now, but, you know, like those memories are, you know, being broken and shattered away.
As requested. I brewed it myself.
So I'm assuming that's for her, but Kristen Cole is out on a mission. Unless it's for, I mean, maybe it is for someone else. Unless she's sleeping with someone else other than Kristen Cole. And this guy, the head maester, suspects it, I think.
Do you believe Viserys wanted Aegon to succeed him?
That is one hell of a question to ask. That is one hell of a question to ask. Look at this guy's face. He's like, oh shit, how am I supposed to answer that?
I could not know.
So I knew it was for her. I guess maybe her and Kristen Cole slept together before he left. But he's been gone now. In order to leave, traverse the land, and he's already conquered 2 castles. Maybe not through fighting, but they just surrendered automatically. It's at least been a week, if not more than that. And she was holding her gut like she felt like maybe she was pregnant. So, I mean, if it's him, it's been a huge gap. Maybe she feels like the symptoms of being pregnant and she's been drinking this stuff to abort the pregnancy and it's not working. Because there's been a fairly decent amount of several weeks since he's gone.
You should have burned them when you had the chance.
Perhaps you can, Sir Alfred, when you next light them on your dragon.
Not a huge fan of the snarkiness, but I guess I get it.
An enemy host growing in constitution marches somewhere in the vastness of the Crown Lands. We could perhaps act if...
Yeah, they don't know where Kristen Cole is. She's not... And since they're moving through the forest, they're having a hard time pinning him down.
Only we had a host of our own, or someone here to lead us.
Ooh, that was a dig. Rhaenys is a strong leader. She's fairly confident, but she's also very reserved. Rhaenyra isn't horrible, but she's also extremely conservative. You can really feel the absence of Daemon. Daemon was the opposite of all that. He's just like, we need to act now. And it kind of balanced everyone out to where things moved along, but nothing's moving along right now. And the men at the table are feeling it, and they're like, we need to kind of get a handle on this thing.
Mind your tongue, Sir Alfred.
Does it speak falsely, my prince? This council is rudderless.
There you go. He gets it. These guys, they may not like what they're saying, but they're right. It is.
Is there naught to be done in the absence of the Queen but to grouse and claw for power?
Claw for power? I don't know. I mean, I guess they were kind of doing that in the last episode, but I'm not sure because they were basically telling Rhaenyra, like, why don't you take a step back and we'll take over? I don't know. They're right about a lot of things they're saying, though.
We do not know the Queen's doings, but we must trust that she seeks the same as each of us at this table.
It really was stupid of Rhaenyra to leave and not tell anyone, because she's the one in charge of everything. So for her to just take off to King's Landing, it's really thrown everything out of balance. It was a stupid, tactful. It was understandable to try to say, hey, let me speak to Alicent and try to convince her to slow this down or stop this. I get that part, but it was just so rushed and just in the dead of the night she left. And so it was an impulsive decision, and it ended up not being a good one. And nothing ended up good coming out of it.
Men of House Darkland, you can earn back your honor by raising his banner and fighting in his name.
So I think he said Starkland, men of House Starkland. So this is the 3rd castle that he's gone to. It looks like it's on fire. It looks like they've been fighting. So it implies that maybe the other 2 castles that they've taken over has had a similar result. But in any case, this one for sure, there was a battle and a lot of men have died. And it looks like these guys are about to join their ranks and it's going to get even bigger.
You're not fit for the White Cloak.
That's a dig. Not afraid to show it. I love it. You know, I have to say, Kristen Cole's a horrible person, but he's probably gaining a lot of renown because not only is he fighting this war and leading an army and conquering castle after castle and doing it in the name of Aegon, he's the hand of the king. Has there ever been a time when the hand of the king has gone out and waged war on his own? I mean, it's almost as significant as maybe the king himself doing that. it would, you know, it would breed a lot of love for Kristen Cole in the eyes of the regular people. They think, wow, the Hand himself is going out and fighting on behalf of us, you know? It's like the warrior king, but instead it's the warrior hand of the king.
We'll lead the van northeast.
But Harrenhal is to the west.
Indeed it is.
Cole is already preparing his attack.
I bet it was Aemond who sent him that message that told him to not go to Harrenhal. I bet Aemond's the one pulling the strings there.
Plotting. Without my authority.
Can anyone else understand Targaryen, or is it only taught to the Targaryens? Otherwise, they're having a private conversation and no one else in the room knows what's going on, which would be the only reason they would do that. Is that why they're doing it? Aegon, he doesn't know what he's doing, and so, you know, even with that little conversation, his brother just kind of put him down in his place. So, but his brother and them, they do want to win the war, and they probably are much better equipped to do those and make those kind of decisions, but they're just all doing it behind his back. Of course she left it out on the table. Stupid. Why would she make a stupid decision like that? And she brought him in. Ugh. You giving it away, Alicent. That was a dumb move.
Only weeks ago, my lord husband was alive, and the realm was at peace.
Man, it really has been only a few weeks since Viserys died. It feels like so much more time has passed, but it really hasn't. Oh my gosh, because things have just unfolded so quickly, you know?
The significance of Viserys' intentions died with him.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she said in the last episode to Rhaenyra. You know, she was just basically like, listen, it's too late. We have gone too far, that we can't go back now. We have a war going on. It really doesn't matter anymore what Viserys wanted, what he wished for. Things have gotten out of hand. There's gonna be a winner in this thing. There's no slowing it down. Oh my gosh. That looks like Viserys. Or Aegon. It looked like he may have had a patch over his head. Oh. It's Daemon. It's Daemon with an eye patch. Why?
It's a touch late to be stalking about a strange castle putting its people to the sword. I'm called Alice Rivers.
Alice Rivers. She was the lady in the last episode who told Daemon he was going to die in this castle. And if she has the last name Rivers, doesn't that mean she's a bastard? Or maybe not. I'm not sure.
Bastard.
Ah, there you go. I know my Game of Thrones lore. Ah.
You are a strange kind of woman.
Huh. She's talking about those, what are they called? Wayward trees? Weirwood trees? Heart trees. I think there was one in the north in Winterfell, isn't there? And there's one in this castle, or outside of the castle. She says that the bed that he's sleeping in was made from one.
I'm no woman at all. I'm a barn owl.
So you've come here after quarreling with your wife.
What?
Oh, that's a little touchy.
Here, drink this.
She is some kind of witch, man. She is some kind of witch, to be sure.
And against the crown.
Who are you?
Your Grace. I was given to understand that
He's like being drugged, man. She's drugging him. He's messed up. So that's his daughter, but he's seeing things. He's so messed up right now.
Your Grace. You all bore me.
He's so interesting. Aegon has become such an interesting character because on the one hand, he wants to, like, it's just back and forth. Like, you see him want to be a kind of show his dominance and show that he's in control and make tactful decisions. And then he's kind of knocked down whenever everyone around him shows him like you really don't know what you're talking about. And then as the politics continue, he just gets bored. You know, he just kind of gives up and he's like, oh, well, all right, whatever. You know, and he's done that back and forth now several times, you know, where there's a moment where he wants to be responsible and take charge. And then he just kind of loses interest pretty quickly after a while.
What are you doing here?
Where are your father's books?
I ordered them removed.
Oh, God. And these knights just bounce into each other. These knights aren't knights at all. They're his friends. They're like the friends he grew up with.
They don't care what I think.
Do you think simply wearing the crown imbues you with wisdom? It's my hope that, once enthroned, you would honour the burden of your new duties in the hope that you might be half the king your father was.
Ooh, wow. What a harsh thing to say. And he was never loved, really. I mean, I thought he wasn't loved, but he never felt he was given attention from Viserys. To say that to him, what a... Oh, God. That was a very harsh thing for her to say.
Tread carefully.
Or what? You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
She is kind of right about that, though, to be honest. He really should humble himself and listen to the people around him.
What would you have me do, Mother?
Do simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
Is Kristen Cole drinking right now? Like, is he drinking alcohol?
War that your vassals have been fighting in your absence. Your Grace.
Ooh, sassy. In other words, where the hell have you been?
You must send me, Your Grace.
Probably is the wiser choice. You don't want to risk Rhaenyra. She doesn't want to risk her son. And he does lack the experience. Daemon would be the best bet, but he's not there. And so she is the next best one. Or what's her name back here? Her daughter, but she's not going to risk her daughter. So yeah, probably Rhaenys.
I will meet Cole. I should have told you when you first became heir to the throne. It's a secret.
She's gonna tell him about the Song of Ice and Fire. Aegon is getting in his armor. He's got a decent sized dragon. It's not as big as Rhaenys' dragon, but it's a decent sized. Where is he going? And he's drunk.
He held to this the whole of his life.
They have a pretty big battle there, a pretty big army. But they don't stand a chance against a dragon. Unless they brought those ballista things along with them. Catapults wouldn't do it, I don't think. You would have to have those shooting ballista things. Unless you have those... I forget what they're called, but all those men, they don't stand a chance against a dragon. There's no way.
But to unite the realm, I had to send the dragons to war. Eris had told him. And what I will now tell you, the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, now they're all taking off. Right, that's the right reaction. Unless it's the king, because he took off too, so I'm wondering if it's the king that's showing up.
To the seven hells with you, Cole!
Oh no. Oh no. I'm wondering, because him and Daemon are coordinating. Not Daemon. Cole and Aemond are coordinating. Is Aemond about to show up with Rhaegar? Oh my god, if he does show up. Oh my god. It's him. I knew it. I knew it. It was him. They planned this. They hit him. Oh, you don't stand a chance.
Sir Daor.
So that right there must be the king. And that's why Aemond was like, you're an idiot, because he recognizes the dragon. So we essentially have 2 against 1. But Aegon is drunk. He is really being stupid. If he dies here, it's all over. So Aemond has decided to wait now that he's noticed that Aegon has joined the battle. It's completely gone off, but they could salvage this because it is going to be 2 against 1 if Aemon plays his cards right and waits. If Aegon blunders in there and doesn't end up getting killed and he distracts Rhaenys long enough, then Aemond and Rhaegar are gonna kill them easily. There's no way. Look at her. She's happy. She knows it's the king. She's happy because she's battle tested. She's going to kill him if he's not careful. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is it. If she may kill the king's dragon, but as long as the king lives, Aegon, they have a chance. But if she kills him now, even if Aemon kills her, oh, this is intense. This guy's noticing. I bet Aemon is coming. Look at that thing. It's over. It's like a flying city.
Just got it!
He was aiming for his own brother, which makes sense. And the last episode, you know, he always wanted to be king anyway. And the last episode, he was with that prostitute that, you know, he kind of favors. And Aegon showed up and basically just embarrassed the shit out of him. And you could tell he's been plotting. He wants Aegon to die. Like, he doesn't care. Oh, man. But now Rhaenys is coming back. That is so wicked, man. That's about how you would expect a dragon fight to go. Oh! Crushing his own men. Man, this thing is really good at sneak attacks for being how big it is. Damn. She's dead. There's no surviving this. My God, that was so epic. That was so goddamn epic. You knew that was going to happen, just the way that it was playing out. I had a feeling she was going to die. The question now is the king alive? Because if not, Rhaenyra's won. Well, she hasn't won, but it's going to turn into chaos. But it's a dragon for a dragon. The king's dragon is definitely dead, though. That's for sure. But Rhaenys was a really valuable asset to Rhaenyra, and she and her dragon are gone now.
Where's His Grace?
Oh my God. So hold on a second. I just have to rewind it and look at him. Look. It looks like he's kind of alive still, maybe? Like he's holding his arm. Like he's kind of holding himself a little bit. But he looks burnt to hell. Look at him. And that's it. That's gonna be the episode. It ends right after this scene. It was Aemond and Cole who thought up this strategy, which was not a bad strategy. They planned on going to this castle in the daytime to draw out a dragon from Rhaenyra. They drew out Rhaenys and her dragon, and they planned to ambush them with Aemond and Rhaegar, and it worked. However, they weren't counting on the king to show up. However, Aemond took opportunity because he doesn't like Aegon, even though he's his brother. He feels Aegon's an idiot. He shamed him, and he's not interested in him at all. And when he attacked, he set fire, and he had no problem setting fire to the king, to Aegon. It looked like that was his only priority too. It looked like that's all he cared about. But then when Rhaenys left, she turned around and came back to the battlefield. Aemond noticed it, and he took her out, which was the original plan all along. I can't tell if the king's alive or not. He's burnt to hell. But either way, if he's not, in the scenario that he's dead, then I suppose Aemond would end up becoming the king, because Aemond is the next in line, and he's the brother, and he's Targaryen, and he holds Rhaegar. On top of that, Rhaenys still is trying to claim, things, but she has been losing. Several castles have already fallen. She's now lost Rhaenys, which was a very powerful dragon, and Daemon's still, not involved in the battle at all. He's at Harrenhal. And so it's very interesting stuff. Wow. I mean, really interesting stuff. I just wondering if the king survives this or not. A lot went on in this episode, but that last battle was epic. That's exactly really what you'd expect for two dragons fighting. And the way that they clashed and slowly fell, because they can't stay afloat in the air as they're fighting, because they can't flap their wings, and the fire and stuff. Oh my gosh, that's just so wicked. And but Rhaenys is dead now, and so that is the biggest, just hit to Rhaenyra right now, and really losing Sunfire, I think his name was, the dragon of Aegon. That's not that big of a deal, I don't think, because really you would keep the king at King's Landing anyway as much as you can, and keep him out of the battle as much as you can, and only use that as a last resort anyway. So theoretically, you wouldn't have had him get involved much, and so Sunfire wouldn't have been involved a lot anyway. They have Sunfire, they have Rhaegar. Man, do they even have any other dragons? I don't even know of any other dragons that they have. But they have Rhaegar, which is the biggest one. And so, Rhaenyra's lost. Man, and so it's going to be really interesting how far this is going to tip them over the edge, what's going to happen with the sea snake, and how he's going to react to this, because she's dead now, and that's going to be a huge loss. And she was the one who wanted to support Rhaenyra in the first place. It was more so her, Rhaenys, than the sea snake. The repercussions that are going to come out of this. I'm still hoping Otto Hightower comes back too, by the way. He was a great character. Oh, man. This is just so wicked. It's a great episode. Really happy about this episode. A lot of little moving parts. And Kristen Cole and all of them are out in the field. How are they going to respond to all of this? The stuff with Daemon is interesting, but I would like a little bit more to kind of take place. He's kind of losing it and being poisoned and stuff. I hope he doesn't die some kind of lame death where he just ends up being in the castle there and he just ends up getting stabbed by someone or killing himself or poisoned to death or something, and that's the end of him, and he's never going to leave Harrenhal. Hopefully that's not it. Hopefully he gets on his dragon, the worm dragon or whatever it's called, and gets back involved in this fight, but we'll see. In any case, great episode. I was very happy with it. I thought it was all pretty solid. I really enjoyed it. And those are my overall thoughts, and I'd love to know what you guys think. Did you like this episode? What did you think about that last bit? What did you think about everything? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you could please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon to be notified whenever my new videos drop. All you have to do is make a YouTube account, which is free, and then subscribing is also free, and it helps out the channel a lot. And that's going to be it for today, guys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great freaking day.